So here we are, guys. September 11th, 2021. I don't know if you guys... I know some people out there born after... They're born after the events of 20 years ago. Kind of hard to believe that happened 20 years ago. I was a little kid when it happened. But the effect, the compounding effect of that event and how much it changed reality is undeniable. There's an element of wonder to whatever happened. It's undeniable, an element of wonder. It's an inexplicable element of wonder that surrounds that event. And it's beyond just the destruction and death of that day, which is well understood in all the remembrance. As you just see what's going on since then, what happened that day, and then as somebody like myself who has spent, I don't know, maybe starting in about 2011, spent an awakening process happened. A process where I realized that the dualistic red-blue explanation of Democrats versus Republicans, but everybody against the terrorists. I started to realize that narrative wasn't quite holding up. It wasn't quite sufficient. It didn't quite do justice. You realize that pretty quickly. It doesn't do any sort of justice to the real events or non-events or what occurred on that clear blue September morning in 2001. Those of us who are old enough to remember the morning, we can remember the way that the sun came out, and there was kind of like a deafening silence in the sky. I can remember I didn't see the pictures. I just heard about it. But I can remember the feel that came over the world that day. I think I was somewhat insulated from some of the horror of it, but vividly, you still remember which is understandable, the trauma. When you start to connect that event to the event that is happening in real time today. The parallels still exist. The parallels are not escaped. They're still there. It's the same intelligence. Like I posted in my story, there's no sufficient explanation. None. I'm sorry. There's no, like, you can come at me with any explanation you want. There's no sufficient explanation for the events of that day. I don't care if you're talking about the Pentagon. I don't care if you're talking about Flight 93, the North Tower. There's no good explanation for it. There are explanations. Hell, there's an official story. But there's no sufficient or comprehensively good explanation. The magic, the ritual of that day is not meant to be understood in a... If anybody's telling you, like, this is how it... Like, no. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't do it. Anyways, I should do a live about this, and we should just chat.